अरे कहो एक बार, sing with me. हे मित्र सनातन धर्म की जय हो, कहो एक बार हे मित्र वैदिक धर्म की जय हो, सनातन धर्म की जय हो, वैदिक धर्म की जय हो, वैदिक धर्म की जय हो, आर्य समाज की जय हो, कहो एक बार हे मित्र सनातन धर्म की जय हो, वैदिक धर्म की जय हो, आर्य समाज की जय हो. I gave this pravachan before, but I'll give it again. Om Vishwani Deva Savitar Duritani Parasuva Yad Bhadram Tanna Asuva Yad Bhadram Tanna Asuva. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I'll give it again because yesterday I went to Canada. I was in Canada yesterday and I did a hawan for my nephews and nieces. We didn't invite outsiders. My brother, my siblings wanted me just to come for the children. And we did a hawan for them to fill up on their exhausted stocks. And by now you understand what we mean by that kind of terminology. The children needed connections with something other than physics, biology, car, Nintendo games, going to Disneyland. They've been doing that, and lots of that. And then many times they get bored. You give a child one toy, you give him another toy, you give him a third toy. Afterwards his room becomes filled with toys. So many toys, he doesn't know which one to choose. And many times he turns away and he looks for something else. When Rishi Dayananda explains the mind, he said, the mind measures an object so fast that it looks for another object. It looks for some kind of connection, some kind of solace, some kind of source that would provide him satisfaction. And so he sees this one and he doesn't like it at this one. And he likes it for a moment and then he moves on to this one and to this one and to this one. When we were in Guyana, we were a poor family, and Christmas time my daddy would buy a little plane and we'd play with it for a while, vroom and vroom, but after 2 days and 3 days the little plane would stay there and nobody would touch it. We weren't given two toys, we couldn't afford it. But even with that one, like many others of you here, even with that one, after 3 days, nobody would touch it. Next day, my daddy would buy shotguns for us, baby guns, and pow, 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 all in 2, 3 days and 4 days. And next week, nobody would pick it up, for such is the nature of the mind. So yesterday, I was telling my nephews and nieces, it's good to have a PhD. In fact, not having a high degree is not an option. Because in today's world, you wouldn't be scooping ice cream, or let me use this place. You wouldn't be working at Burger King because that's not the kind of salary you want. Pardon me for making mention of that, but that's what's wrong. But you can't work there because that would not take care of your budget, your budgetary needs. You need a top job, and you do need a master's degree or even a bachelor's degree, or who knows, a PhD degree, somewhere along the line. But I told the children there are many people who are PhDs and they drive in Mercedes, and when they drive out, they don't know where they're going. They're going someplace because the mind needs to be happy. They're going someplace. Where you going? We're going for a drive. Where you going? I don't know, but I'm going someplace. Such a mind doesn't have connections. Ved tells us such a mind doesn't have connections. They can have big PhDs and big salaries, CEO salaries, but their spouses and they are so far apart. so far apart that they end up throwing plates at each other or throwing words at each other. Sometimes they're depressed because they're empty on the inside. They feel no, and the word I use to my nephews and nieces, they feel no connections on the inside. As opposed to another situation. I once went to a place called Mettenmeersborg on the west coast of Demerara, and it was a small house near to the seashore where the seawall is. And the house was tilted because the posts were not strong. And they don't have mats, they had an old bag. I made mention of this. They don't have chairs. Their bed is a put together thing with bags on it. And they apologized profusely. By Satishji, we don't have chairs, can you sit here? And I lovingly sat down. But the vibrations in the house were so inviting, so powerful, so connecting on the inside. I asked where I could lie down. And one of them said, "Hi Sat, you're not poking fun at me." I said, No. I just want to lie down. I used to live in my Pua's Loji in a place called Wakenham, and I used to lie down on this kind of bed. Can I lie down? And he said, by all means do. And I asked for a cup of rainwater. I didn't want artesian well water. I asked for a cup of rainwater because in my childhood, rainwater was so sweet. And I didn't want to get up. And talking, I slept away in the bed. And after a while, they stopped talking because they respected the fact that I had fallen asleep. Those people have connections on the inside. Because you know what? Every night they sit down and open the Atma Gita and they sing, Hey Jagat Pita Bhagavan, and they chant, Yajagrato Duramudaiti Daivam. And they do something. What you do perhaps may not matter, but yes, you do. Muslims will not chant Yajagrato. Christians will not, but they will do something parallel to create connections on the inside. Arey, you were born in a Hindu atmosphere. Do something that you've been accustomed to and with which you have psychological and cultural and traditional ties. But do something by yare kuch kar, kuch ban. Become something by doing something. Kuch karo, kuch bano. Otherwise, you will be like this person. Look at the screen. You will feel alone. You will feel insecure. You will feel afraid. After a while, your friends and your relatives will criticize you for the simple reason they wouldn't agree with you. And you will feel all abandoned. You'll feel depressed and you will ask. Is there any kind of help for me? हो न जाए कहीं ये बर्बाद जो नर्तन तुझको मिला. This song is coming in the next CD. I like it so much. Our friend Dr. Surendra Kumar made this song. And he's saying, watch out! Barbad means destroyed. Watch out lest your life run away with you by the ticking minutes. Are bhai, by the end of tonight, one day will have come to an end in your life, and it will be one day less in your life made up of years, breakdownable into months, breakdownable further into weeks and days. One day will have been lessened in your lifespan. हो न जाए कहीं बर्बाद जो नर्तन तुझको मिला जाने कितने जन्म के बाद ये नर्तन तुझको मिला. Hold it there. जाने meaning न जाने. You and I don't know after how many births. Living as a dog, living as a cat, living as an elephant, living as this, living as that, or living in lower human life forms. After so many births in your past lifetimes, you have been given this one birth.